Toby Hoivok, you are now walking away at speed from the murder site. The woman that's with you still don't have her name. She checks her phone, she smiles. It looks like the list has just grown shorter. Seems someone else is performing sacrifices for us.
Good. The sooner this will be over, the better.
Well, I think that means... who should we scratch off the list? Ken? Ken has a look at a dirty notepad that he pulls out of his pocket. He's unzipped his parka now. He's sweltering in there. You can see the beads of sweat the way his hair is matted as he climbs back into the van and kicks the body out that you were previously dismembering. Ross Belsky, firefighter, he could have put up a fight. Let's skip him then. We'll knock him out. How about, Dapperton, the mayor? And he looks at Toby. Our uncle. He's the last one on the list. He isn't without sin. Let's deal with him. And then all the cards will fall into place. You on board, Toby?
I'm just silent at that. And I nod.
You get going in your detached, compartmentalized way. This world that you've retreated to, you very much appear to be someone who is in shock right now. And for that, Ken, he holds you. He holds you like a brother might. When you lost your parents, when you saw your first battle. And he says, it's okay. It's okay, Toby. We will get through this. I feel better already after what we just did.
And feeling him hold me, it does make me feel better. Makes me feel calm somehow. I know things are different now, but there's something there. A memory from the past. It can be like that again. Just this last thing.
You hear a call from up front. Time's changing. It's getting darker earlier. That means the ritual must nearly be complete. Also means we're racing against the clock. Where do you think he'll be? I don't know, let's try his house. Okay, we'll head to his house. Hey, Toby.
Yeah?
Are you cool with this?
I'll be fine. It's just like with the new recruits in the service, huh? It's a bit tough there in the beginning, but they get used to it. So will I.
Listen, it was harder out there, Tobe. Out there you didn't know who was a friend and who was an enemy, who was a civilian and who was a jihadi. Out over here, Grace did the work for us. She told us which houses to mark up. They've been chosen for ages. We know who the enemy is. We know who the selections are. Anyone who we mark, or who interacts with the marks, they're all subject. They're all chosen.
You're right. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. We just deliver on the plan. Just finish the mission. Just finish the mission. Finish the mission.
No, that's right. That's what we got to do. You just got to keep it together, man. Okay, you got to keep it straight, keep it tight. We're not going to do anything that puts us at risk. We're not going through this so that we can die on the battlefield. All right? So they're doing this so that we can survive and so that we can get better. Okay?
You're right.
You can see that he is chewing the inside of his mouth, a common trait of his whenever he's nervous. He looks much like you, utterly detached, but in a different way. That frenzy to his eyes is like he's on something. He's buzzing with energy, with an unhealthy amount of excitement. There's a sadism to him, where at first it seemed like nerves, like he was afraid, it's actually eagerness to get this over with, to get this done.
I can identify with that feeling. I mean, that's it, isn't it? Just get this done. That's what I was telling myself before. I just need to remember it. I need to not let this overcome me. Just do it, and then it's done. And then I'll forget. And I don't have to deal with it. Just do it.
That's right, soldier. We can do it. We can do this together. We'll take down the enemy. That's what we'll do. With extreme fucking prejudice, right?
Hoorah. Semper Fi.
You pull up outside your uncle's home. It's not the first time you've been here in recent memory. Alright, we know he does have people. So this time we're going to be playing it careful. Just us two going in. Trying to look normal, inconspicuous. Get it? And once we're inside, we do what we've got to do. But there might be eyes on the grounds. He is the mayor, after all.
He is. Hey, Ken, if his daughter is there, Ashley, you mind if we let her go?
She's not marked. He shrugs.
Good. She's not going to be a threat.
No, she's just a kid, isn't she? You both walk up to the doors, ring the doorbell, trying to look as normal as you can, given the situation. Strangely, despite the fact that it feels like you've only been out for about 4 hours since the morning, the dusk appears to be approaching rapidly. No one answers the door. He rings the doorbell again. Alright, can you try and find an open window?
Yeah. I'll begin moving around the house trying to find any kind of open back door or open windows, anything that might allow us entrance into the building. I don't think we can smash anything here. Bound to set off all kinds of alarms.
Yeah. As you do so, you do actually notice, for the first time outside your uncle's house, one of those symbols painted on the wall. It's largely been painted over. You can just make out the shape of it. At some point, they've sprayed this occult design, marking him, presumably. And the first time you saw one of those seems like an age ago now. Make another perception roll, please.
That is 8.
8. You're exasperated. You don't think there's any way in without breaking in.
Oh, fuck, then that's what we're gonna have to do.
You can take the conservatory. Lots of glass there.
Yeah. We can break the glass. Alright. I'll, see if I can catch Ken's attention and then motion towards the conservatory and then the windows. We're gonna have to smash it.
Okay. He picks up a rock from the garden. Let's just break our way in then.
Fuck yeah. Alright, and I grab one too, and 3, 2, 1, and begin smashing the window.
Okay, you smash through the glass without any difficulty, and can see that there are 2 cameras pointed down into the conservatory, red lights on. Ken zips his Parker up in response, and then in a muffled voice says to you, "They're probably concentrating on other things right now anyway. With everything going on in town, it's probably fine. You go in first."
Sure thing. And I begin moving through the window, then trying to be careful to not cut myself on the broken glass.
Well, I do get to play a move on you as you rolled so poorly. It seems that you're able to climb through, but as you do so, you dislodge one of the panes of glass above you, and it just comes down on you, shattering as it hits your back, slicing into your back and then your arm. You're not disabled from it, but you are wounded again, as a large shard of glass just protrudes from you at this point. Ken stares at you. Jesus, are you okay, man?
I just try to put my my arm, my jacket into my mouth and kind of biting in on it to prevent myself from screaming. And I try to feel for the glass if I can somehow get it out.
It's a large piece, you can definitely find it. As you're wrapping your hand around it, you're nicking your fingers, cutting your palm open. Ken ultimately helps you. He grabs it as well, and it's in pretty deep. You had no idea glass could come down so hard. It almost feels like judgment from above. But he pulls it out. A small spring of blood gushes free from the wound in your upper arm where it ended up lodging. You want to get that seen to once this is all over. We've got no time for that now, just bleed.
Yeah, this will be fine. I try to put pressure on the wound with one arm and begin moving into the house, seeing if I can find my uncle.
As you're making your way within, it appears the house is silent, except for music playing upstairs. Sounds like some kind of K-pop. It's very loud, drowned out, presumably the noise of you breaking in through the conservatory. Well, that's not going to be Uncle Stan, but let's go for it.
It might be Ashley.
Well, maybe she'll know where he is.
Maybe, but...
Come on, soldier.
All right. And I follow him.
You hustle up the stairs, reach her room. Ken doesn't wait, he just barges in. Don't fucking scream. Turn that music off. At which point he pulls out a gun and points it at her. If you scream, I will blow your brains out against those posters. Those little Korean toy boys of yours, they will be covered in your skull and hair. So you turn the music off, you don't scream, and you listen to what we're going to say. You've seen Ken like this before. It's not the first time he has interrogated a suspect at gunpoint, a suspect being suspected terrorist or someone who may have information as to the location of one. And you know how he gets. He enters this almost robotically violent mode. Ashley does so with shaking hands. She turns the music off. She puts her hands up. What's going on? We need to know where your dad is. I don't know, at work? And she looks at you. Toby?
Just stay calm. Stay calm. It'll all be fine. We just need to find your dad.
I don't know, he's probably at work. Why are you doing this? Oh my god, whose blood is that all over you?
City Hall, you think?
Oh my god. Oh my god. You're part of this group that's going around killing people, aren't you? Shut up. Just shut up. If you talk, if another word leaves your lips and not at our request, I swear you will be eating this gun. Ken looks to you. What do you think? Should we get her to call her dad, bring him out here? City Hall's going to have too many people crawling around it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not sure. Let's give it a try, I guess. Just... You're going to be okay? Just call your dad, tell him to come over here. Don't make him suspicious, alright?
Yeah, I don't want you to hurt him. Well, his number's up. He's going to get hurt. That's the way it's going to be. But you can save your own precious little life. And Ken looks at her somewhat lasciviously. If you do exactly what we say. So pick up your phone, call Daddy, bring him out here. And once he's here, we will deal with business. But if you leave this room, if you try calling the police, if you do anything stupid, we're going to have fun with you before we kill you.
I just look at Ken and I take a step back. Look, we're not going to hurt you. Right, Ken? We're not gonna fucking hurt her, alright?
Listen, soldier, get in line. We've got orders, we follow orders.
Yeah, but we don't have to hurt Ashley, alright? She's not on the list. You said it yourself.
No, well, she's not chosen either, is she? She's not one of the shunned like us. So that doesn't make her special either. There's collateral damage in every battle, in every war.
Yeah, but we don't have to choose to create collateral damage here, alright?
Well, if she would just hurry up and use the fucking phone, I wouldn't have to threaten her.
Come on, Ashley, just... please do it. Get him over here. Then... you'll be fine, alright? I won't let anything happen to you.
I don't want anything to happen to my dad. Okay, that does it. Ken levels the gun with her head. Now, Toby, are you going to take an action here? It's up to you. You don't have to. Depends on where your loyalties and morals lie at this point in your broken life.
I'm not gonna let him kill her. She's an innocent. I mean, she's not even on the list. I need to stop him from hurting us more, from hurting innocents. We can still finish this. She doesn't have to die. I'll just move to get the gun away from him. No!
It fires. Okay. Can you make a reflexes roll, please? In fact, I'll let you choose reflexes or violence.
And I'll go for violence. I roll 18.
In that case, you narrate for me. Where does the bullet end up? You get to basically turn the gun around. Does it just misfire? Does it end up in someone or somewhere?
I think that what happens is both the last thing that I would like to see happen and what I secretly wish for. What part of me secretly wishes for. I think I end up pointing the gun towards Ken, and I think he ends up shooting himself through that. Or maybe it's me. I don't know, but he's the one who gets shot.
Yeah, it's a muscle reflex for you at this point, muscle memory. You know how to disarm someone, you know how to fold the arm, bring the gun in, point it at its bearer. This is all part of close quarters combat. You are trained to do this. If someone has a gun pointed at you at close range, you close that range and bring the gun up against them. And right now, Ashley's in peril. You grab his arm, you fold it, the gun goes toward him. Before he knows what's going on, he's pulled the trigger. There's no time for solemn goodbyes, a chance to make amends or apologize, anything like that. Ken's bullet goes straight into his chin and into his brain. He'd always told you that if the worst happened, if he lost control completely, he would put a bullet between his brain. He would choose the way out. And it just so happens that that fate has been sealed at your hands. Ashley bursts into tears. She looks like she wants to run toward you, but she's also terrified of you. She runs past you through the doorway.
And I just look at Ken and tears are streaming down my face. No. What the hell have I done? Ken, come on. I begin trying to do CPR, but I mean, there's no point in all that. I stop it, realizing that it's not gonna work. He's blown his brains out, or I did it. What the fuck am I gonna do now? Alright. Okay, calm down. There's a mission. It can still be completed, alright? We've suffered casualties. That happens. It's war. I can still do what I need to do. And I can bring him back to life. I'm sure Grace can sort that out. He's been a loyal soldier of hers. She should be rewarded for that. Yeah, I just need to find my uncle. And I just need to finish this. No innocents have to die. At least no one else. Just need to get to Stan.
As you leave the bedroom, you can hear Ashley downstairs. She's on the phone. Dad, don't come here. There's people here that want to kill you. Toby wants you dead. Get the police. I'm just going to run as far. And she then sees you at the top of the stairs. I've got to go. Toby, as night falls outside, the sun finally setting, you feel there's a completion, a sense of finality. You may not have concluded this sacrifice in time, but you did your duty to the best of your ability. You feel a warmth inside you and around you, as much as in the supermarket where you weren't present, but is occurring all over the town right now. The cellar of this building opens up to Inferno, and out slouches Grace, summoned into being, into Elysium. Resembling nothing so more as a brutalized woman. Half her scalp is missing. She looks horribly burned. Blood is constantly streaming from one of her nostrils. Her eyes are fixed white, pupilless, but she's recognizable still in her singed and torn red dress. As she emerges from under the stairs and looks up at you, she smiles. My loyal soldier, come on down here. We have a mission to complete.
And I'll do as she says. I begin moving toward her.
Take my arm, please. So difficult and so unusual to walk in this world. It's been close to a century.
Yeah, you'll get used to it, I'm sure.
Don't feel too bad that you weren't able to get everyone on the list. I was frankly feeling optimistic, but it really won't matter. The scales are very heavily weighted in my favour now. And Chief McLean really was a tasty vessel, an unexpected one. I wouldn't have imagined someone so entrenched in the symbol would have been possessed of such vitality at the end, but he was filled with surprises, like a piñata.
Huh. So Dwayne, he's gone then, huh?
Well, not gone. Just occupied. You don't need to worry about him now. So we should go and find Miss Enzio, shouldn't we? All of the sacrifices made are going to be waking up now as my delightful purgatides, my servants, my army. All except Dwayne. And she pats her belly. As I say, occupied right now.
Alright. It sounds like we have a war to win then. And then everything will be fine, and it'll be a new start, and I'll be happy.
That's right, that's what you wanted.
Hey, Ken died.
I know, I felt it.
But he's gonna be alright, isn't he? After all this.
She frowns at you. Now's not the time to be getting sentimental, Toby. There's a war to fight. We can deal with dividing up the spoils after it's won.
You're right, of course. Of course. First, to the battle. Let's finish this.
You leave the house, taking Mayor Dapperton's second car. And the van is gone. Wherever the Shunned are is not here. It seems you and Ken were abandoned to perform this final sacrifice. And so you take a town car on the way to Enzio Construction, where activity is already afoot. Sylvia. You observed as well the fast-setting sun. You actually felt it inside yourself as you were walking across the parking lot into the forecourt, the foyer of the building. Not only how cool everything was getting on this side of town, but also how that conversation you just had with Dwayne may well have been the last one you would ever have with him. People are buzzing around in here like the world is ending, appropriately enough. You can hear calls at reception to summon security. Bring in one of the private companies now. They need to get to Devonsport now. Are you ignoring all of that in an effort to go straight to Jessica?
Yeah. It doesn't really concern me at this point. I just need to go to her. And, I wonder what this is actually all doing to her. Somehow it's fascinating, this chaos that has started, how it's even possible after all this time. Last time I saw her, she was just a shadow, ice cold and cool and composed in a car. And I'm curious now as what the state of her will be.
You reach the elevator. There's no obstruction. Your pass key allows you to go straight up to her penthouse offices. No one is sharing the elevator with you. There's no music playing, just the cool air conditioning buffeting your skin, making you feel again like you're on the way to handle a case in the millions of dollars value, when you're feeling confident and you've got your paperwork at hand, an army of clerks and solicitors beside you. Right now, though, it's just you to present your case to Jessica Enzio. And as the doors open, and you find yourself staring across her vast office, into which the elevator opens directly. Stuffed wild animals, an elephant's foot used for umbrellas, ivories on the wall, ceremonial swords, all the usual accoutrements of wealth and lack of taste. Never quite commented on that to her before, never really found the spine or the appropriate moment to mention that this kind of eclectic mix of design and fashion, all it really does is show off power, not class. She is sat at her desk, on the phone. She looks dishevelled, more so than you. First time you've ever seen her with a forelock out of place. Her skin appears stretched, almost close to tearing at the seams, as she's rasping down the phone like she's just been infected with some awful lung ailment. Yes. Yes. Get them here. I don't know, expend what you need to get them through the barrier. They need to be here. She slams the phone down upon seeing you. There you are. Judas Iscariot.
I walk in, as if this were just business as usual, looking a bit around, like half distractedly, but it's, of course, a game. How are you, Jessica? I mean, Miss Enzio.
I think we can forego formalities at this point. Sylvia. I think I'm fit to burst.
Well, you sent us out to do an investigation, and I guess I have a full report for you, but perhaps that's irrelevant at this point.
I built this pyramid of shit. This edifice to greatness and prosperity, to wealth and order.
I go and I sit in a chair opposite her desk. What exactly did you hope to find when you sent us off?
I was hoping. I knew that you were compromised. There was nothing to you. You were just a vacuum inside a shell. And that in that vacuum could be placed some kind of desire. I preyed on your greed, on your need to do a job well done, to please me as you always have.
I've been a good servant, haven't I?
Not good enough. You betrayed me. McLean told me.
Yeah, and look what happened to him. I want him back. I want Henry back. I shrug.
Do you think Grace can bring back your grandson? Just because she told you? Do you think she will keep any promise that she makes? I've kept promises in this burg for a century, and I can feel it slipping down now into Inferno.
She seems to be capable of doing a lot of things.
What am I capable of? Look at everything I've been capable of.
You're not very human, are you? A creature, she called you.
Ah, fuck this!
And then I hold up and pull back the hammer of my Springfield XDS handgun towards her. And I say, me emptying this clip into you won't make a lick of difference, will it? And then I pull the trigger.
Well, you never know. It might. Make a violence roll.
11.
You fire until the clip runs out. You separate her skin from her body. It allows it to slough away. The puncture wounds widening, like someone's driven cans through her rather than bullets, leaving suppurating holes that you can see from beginning to end. But more important than that is the way her body is morphing, transforming. It's funny, she referenced a pyramid of shit. That's more or less what she looks like. A blob-like pyramid, humanoid in the vaguest possible sense of mixed and meandering anatomy and rancid, fetid, fecal matter, effluvia of all kinds. There is nothing powerful, influential, charming, or domineering about Jessica Enzio at this point. This is her at her worst. You've blown a hole through her throat, whatever constitutes it, and in an even deeper rasp.
You'll burn. You and all your friends will burn.
And the act of violence, as it goes on, and I'm shooting all these bullets into her, it wipes away my cool one shot at a time, because I've never done anything really like this. And I raise my voice, I start screaming, I want Henry back. I want the two of us to live together somewhere safe where I can raise him better than my son, better than he can be raised by his parents. I'm different, I'm stronger, I'm better, I should be the one. It's the only way I can make right the mistake that is Richard.
Petty, weak, human.
At which point the elevator doors spring open. Toby, Grace as well. You arrive, you see the form of Jessica there, you see Sylvia stood over her with a gun. Jessica looks like she could be violent on a good day, but right now it is not a good day for Jessica Enzio. She is a creature out of her element. This place is no longer Elysium, where her powers might be balanced. where she may be able to influence the world in a way that allows her access to her full realm of abilities. Here, she is weak, perhaps even weaker than you, because Devonsport is now solidly an inferno. Oh, my two dears. Grace lets go of Toby's arm. You have done so well, and I am grateful. I truly am, and I will show you my gratitude. Toby, be a darling and add your knife to that quivering blob.
Certainly. With pleasure, I say, and I move to stab.
No!
That thing.
No!
And as you do that, it's like I'm just continuing my monologue, but looking at you as you go to attack her, and I shift my gaze between you and Grace as I say, we'll get out of Devonsport, out of Washington, maybe out of America, maybe somewhere in Europe, somewhere safe, somewhere where the same thing can happen again. I want the hallucinations to stop. I say this now to Grace as this scene just progresses. The headaches, the shakes, everything that keeps me from being a good present person.
Shh. Sylvia, you are your best self. Enjoy the stench of corruption being spilt across the floor. It's exposed now. It's over. She gestures down at Sylvia. All I have to do now is consume it, hoover it up, suck it up, morsel by morsel, and it will be gone. And your freedom, your new life, both of your new lives, they're for the taking. When this beast allowed me to burn, set the fires upon me all those years ago, because she couldn't share. And what are children taught? Reciprocate, share. She was never a child. She's always been a monster. She drove me back to my home, where I belonged, and I brewed and I gestated and I swore bloody vengeance, and I needed the right vessel, of course, and eventually I found it, and I needed the ritual, and of course you sped it up with your actions, and now we are victorious. We have dealt this awful tyrant a blow. A dreadful one. You two should both feel proud of yourselves. Pride is not a sin when it is for good reason. This is good reason. She gestures again at the mulch spread across the floor, still quivering, as Toby has cut it up into multiple gelatinous pieces.
I stand back from the blood sprays and I just adjust my pencil skirt and my hair, regaining myself.
Now, what I do to Jessica I am going to do in private. It's not for mortal eyes to see. Devonsport will be returned to a state roughly resembling what it was before all of this. People might remember shadows of things that took place. Some may be more vivid than others, but who's going to believe them? So the question is, for the two of you, a question of reward. What was it again? Toby? You wanted to forget. You wanted to start again.
Yes. To start again without the burden of all the horrible memories and nightmares, everything that I brought with me from the war, everything that broke me down and made me unable to function here. I want all that gone.
Yes. Well, I can do that for you, though I should hasten to add I can't control any human's choices. If you decide to act in selfish or brutal ways again, that is your choice. All I can do is give you a chance. Do you understand?
Yeah. That's all I want. A chance. A chance at a proper life.
She leans in to kiss you on the lips. Do you accept her kiss?
I do.
You vanish. Toby, you won't realise anything of what's just happened. You won't know any of the events that just occurred in Devonsport, because for you they haven't occurred yet. You are currently in Fallujah. You're next to your brother. You are firing a rifle. You're about to make your first kill. Your brother's at your side and he tells you, "Take the shot, Toby. Come on, what are you waiting for? Get away."
And I look at him with excitement. Fuck yeah, get some. And I pop up to take the shot.
And let's let the dice decide whether, on this occasion, you get your first taste of dead meat. Make a violence roll.
17.
The bullet goes clean through the target's head. You're a soldier, all right. Sylvia. Now, Sylvia. Don't worry about Toby. He's in a better place, free to make all kinds of mistakes again.
I find myself doing a little curtsy.
You wanted your grandson back.
I want Henry back, yes, please. And I want to have the strength to raise him as I think he deserves to be raised.
I can help you with some of that. I promised you I would. If you take my kiss, that dependency you have on the medication, those pains you suffer in your mind, they will go. Your spiritual deformation will ease, though it won't be alleviated entirely. Even I can't manage that kind of trick. Do you want that?
I draw a deep breath as I'm trying to even imagine such a life. And I say, yes, I would like that.
Then take my lips on yours.
And I step forward and I give her the kiss.
The kiss is long, it is sweet and passionate, and when you finally pull apart, she's smiling. And you do feel better. You do feel stronger. You have a maternal instinct you never possessed before. It's remarkable. It's like you've spent months away at a retreat and all of a sudden your mind has been washed. The feeling is remarkable. This isn't a subtle thing. This is a renewal. Mentally and spiritually.
I just lift my hands slowly to my head, and I just, as if I could touch the pains that would normally be there, even though everything is internal. It's like I need an extra external confirmation that they're actually gone.
I told you it would pay, well, to work for me. To do as I asked, and you did. You betrayed Jessica, and I rewarded that. And the last thing, because you were so demanding, you wanted your grandson back.
Yes.
Well, consider it done. He is once again drawing breath.
Where is he?
Wherever he is. I've not moved him. I've not put him anywhere special. He is just, once again, animate with life and soul and thought.
And for a second of euphoria, then a panic comes over me that he's in that coffin and is about to be set to earth. I start fumbling for my phone. I need to call someone.
Oh, well, leave me in peace then. I will deal with Jessica and Devonsport.
I nod, take a few steps back, and then I start running towards the elevator as I lift up the phone, wanting to call the church, the congregation.
Well, as you dial through to the church, I think we're going to get to our epilogue. The fate of Devonsport is, of course, not a glad one, not a happy one. Under Sathariel's influence, the town is no longer resplendent with wealth, that's for sure. Most of the wealthy, influential people move out once the roads open again. There's no work to be found here. Enzio construction shuts down. Depression hits. Drug addiction grows. Homelessness as well. The town itself suffers under the yoke of Inferno, much as it suffered under the injustices of Metropolis. Grace is now in charge, and she is quite happy to see the place fall to a slum. Much as she alluded, some people write the entire event off as a freak incident. Some say that people died in a tidal wave that dramatically hit Devonsport. That's certainly what the national press report, but there are people in the town who never forget, who remember vividly the events, especially the supernatural ones that occurred, and they just can't square it away. Mental illness rises dramatically in Devonsport, as at first it's not illness, it's just people knowing what they saw, knowing what they experienced, but when no one believes them, when people doubt them, when you are consistently called a liar, a fraud, or someone suffering from hallucinations, that's when the illnesses kick in. You start to doubt yourself, you start to hate everyone around you, you start thinking, maybe I'll show them how terrified I was on that day. Then they will know what it's like. But that isn't the story of our protagonists. The story of our protagonists has already been told in large part. We know that Dwayne McLean ended his time in Elysium falling, literally and figuratively, into Inferno. Though there was a spark of him, as Grace pointed out, that was reaching up for something better, reaching for his family. And that spark was enough to preserve your daughter. In a situation like this, where an entire town is falling into hell, one virtuous deed can preserve a life and a spirit. And while Carol will never quite understand what it is she witnessed, it's thankfully in large part blotted from her mind. As soon as she started staring down that staircase, she lost sight of what was going on. She'll never remember your brutal death. But she does know that she needs to get the hell out of Devonsport, and that's what she does. She takes her new role in the Seattle Police Department. A bit twitchy, a bit more trigger-happy than she used to be. But you didn't die in vain. As for Toby, as we have already ascertained, he does get a second chance, though second chances without guidance are unlikely to push an individual in a different direction. And Grace isn't the kind of infernal resident to start offering sage advice on how to live a good life. That wouldn't be poetic irony, would it? Still, Toby does have the hope of luck and fate on his side. Surely one cannot be so unlucky 2 times, 3 times, a dozen times in a row as to end up in the same state as he was before. Maybe he will, perhaps he won't. And then Sylvia. Sylvia is our only protagonist to remain in Devonsport after the events of the Shunned. After all of the sacrifices are done, after the ritual is complete, she is the only one who fully understands what grace is. She is the only one who fully remembers everything that was going on in town. As one of Grace's chosen, Sylvia will know it all, with perfect mental clarity. No more illness for her, no more unstable behaviour, no more medication. But the question of what becomes of her grandson, what becomes of Henry. Was he interred? After all, his funeral did just take place that morning, and now it's night time. Was his coffin left waiting for more people to attend and pass by? I'm going to hand that to Hjalmar. Hjalmar, you've taken this character on her journey. Oftentimes with KULT, we go for the most dire of endings, where you would fall at the gravesite on your knees, realise that your grandson is now buried alive and scream no. Other times we will angle towards something a little more hopeful, optimistic, which despite the odds in Devonsport is a possibility. So you tell us, what ending do you want for Sylvia Spears?
Thank you for the choice, but I like the idea here of keeping it open. Let's leave Sylvia as she runs towards the elevator, trying to make sure that her grandson, in his coming back, will be safe. Hoping beyond hope that she'll be able to take him and herself out of Devonsport for good.
In that case, Sylvia's story cuts to black before we find out the resolution. And I think that is an ideal end for her. And so that ends our story of the Shunned for KULT Divinity Lost. I have been your GM, Matthew Dawkins, and I have been joined by 3 fantastic players who you all know. The wonderful team at Red Moon Role Playing, who it is always a pleasure to run for.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Role Playing, where we played The Shunned for KULT Divinity Lost, which was written by Jonas Nelson, with additional material from Petanado. The Shunned was released as part of the Screams and Whispers scenario collection. Our game master was our dear friend Matthew Dawkins, and the series has been sponsored by the fine folks at Helmgast. The music was made by H.M. Carceri, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julián, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Xabier, and Antxon for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.